Hi everyone, there's been some recent updates to the Wellen Park new high school, and we wanted to share those with you because it is information that will definitely help you decide what you're going to do with your family and what things look like for you. My name is Esther Ryder. My husband Andy and I are local realtors. We live in Venice on the island and actually have kids in the middle school and in the high school. So we've been attending meetings regularly to make sure we're up to date, as well as able to give information to our clients in the community. And we're going to share that with you right now. The first thing I want to do is show you the updated maps. On a previous video, we showed you the maps that were A, B, and C. After attending 2 meetings and community input, they added maps D, E, and F. Then there was another meeting that was also open to community, and they changed to narrow that down to maps B, D, and F. So the only applicable maps are B, D, and F. The good thing about that is that there are very few changes to each one. So we can say with certainty many areas that are going to be in the new Wellen Park district that were questionable before when the other maps were options. So let's look at those first. For map B, this particular map goes up to Alligator Creek, shoots down a little bit, and then back over toward Jacaranda Boulevard. Jacaranda Boulevard is the divider there from east to west. This one goes cuts across Venice Avenue. So for current Venice high school students, these are some of the neighborhoods that are now going to be a part of Wellen Park. Chestnut Creek, Stoneybrook, Lakes of Jacaranda, and about half of South Venice. As you can see, it squiggles down along the river on North River Road, and then it heads over into parts of Northport and jets out into 2 different areas. Southern bump out covers Country Club Estates and Sabal Trace. Map D is one of the new ones that was added with community input. This one goes all the way to 75 and just a tiny little cut into 75 that covers a very small area that would otherwise be landlocked, as access to it is a road under the interstate. So that one has the same areas in terms of the Venice High School part that we just talked about, Alligator Creek, Jacaranda Boulevard, but because it goes all the way to 75, this one also includes Caribbean Village as part of Wellen Park High School, which is at the corner of Venice Avenue and North River Road, and then other allotments that are there along or in the area up to I-75. But the big one we wanted to mention there would have been Caribbean Village. This one in the Northport area, as you can see, only has the 1 bump out, not the 2nd bump out. And as the last map, it also wiggles down River Road following the river. The next map, also added with community input, is map F. Again, this follows the same maps for the current Venice High School as far as Alligator Creek, Jacaranda. This one also goes up to 75, runs down River Road, but this one, map F, does have that 2nd bump out as well for the Northport area, which again covers Country Club Estates and Sabal Trace. The yellow area that you see is the area that covers 175 students approximately that have been going to Lemon Bay, even though they are in Sarasota County. That was because of crowding at Venice High School. Those students in every single scenario here will be leaving Lemon Bay to attend Wellen Park. Now, again, the exception to that is going to be the seniors in the class of 2027 who have been attending Lemon Bay and opt to stay there. So what the map does that we didn't talk about in the south and the west, as you can see, it runs down Minnesota Key Road, and then it follows the Sarasota County line. That's how those areas were drawn up right there. We're going to highlight a few things that you need to know next, and then go on to questions that the community has asked when we were at these other meetings. And the same things keep coming up over and over, so we want to address those. But first, for some basics. The new school will be open in fall 2026. So that means the kids who are going to be in the class of 2027 will be seniors that year. Those kids have the option, if they're redistricted into Wellen Park, have the option to go to the new Wellen Park or stay at the school they had been attending previously, whether that be Northport, Venice High, or even Lemon Bay. As you remember from our last video, there are 175 kids in Sarasota County that are in the southern part that have already been attending Lemon Bay High School because of the numbers that could not fit in Venice High School. So those students will have the option of going to the new Wellen Park if they're redistricted into that area, or staying at their current school. Remember, that's the seniors only. That does not apply to siblings. Now, those siblings are the ones that they would try to get into the open enroll scenarios before other students to try to keep families together. So keep that in mind, but there's not a guarantee. It is only for the seniors only. The next thing that we want to remind you of is that this new school is going to be fully functioning with all of the sports, all of the music, all of the classes that are at the other high schools. That was intentional to make sure this very expensive, very new, big building was able to be a good experience for all of the students attending. So if your child plays volleyball or Brussels like our boys, those programs are still going to be offered at the new Wellen Park. So just put your mind at ease for that. I think that is helpful for parents to know. The last item involves sports. We're going to touch on that super briefly before we go into the questions parents had specifically. The current rules state that if a sport is offered in the district that your child is scheduled to be in based on the maps, they need to attend that school if that sport is offered. So for example, we live on Venice Island, so our children will stay at Venice High School. They all wrestle. Because wrestling is offered at the school or district in, our kids need to attend that school. The nice thing is that that means that all of those offerings will be at Wellen Park for those of you who are there. A question that came up frequently was children who are maybe juniors in 2026, 2027, and they'd like to stay with their current team, whatever sport that might be, or also band was mentioned, as well as music, because some of these high schools have very good programs for all of those things. But that is also going to be offered at the new high school. And again, those are not criteria for the open enrollment. The other thing that comes up a lot is the IB program. A lot of parents at these meetings were concerned that their student would not be able to have that option at the Wellen Park High School. It's my understanding that that program takes a couple years to put together. However, that program, the IB program, and the administration for Sarasota County Schools are working very hard together to get that implemented as soon as possible. The thing to remember is that has been said over and over at these meetings that the administration is not going to leave a student hanging. So if your child is in the IB program and it's not going to be ready at Wellen Park High School, they will be able to have that program and still be a part of it at another school. However, again, they're working tirelessly to make sure that all is seamless. One thing I want to say is we've been to a handful of meetings, and while the general attendance hasn't been as high as I expected, that's why these videos are helpful as well. The administration has shown up to all of them, and they've been very, very helpful, and they definitely are trying to do everything they can to make this go smooth for all of the families, which I think is great because they're very much caring about the students and understanding of all of these situations. And most, if not all of them, from what they've said, are parents, and a lot of them have gone through similar experiences to some degree, and they understand what we are referencing and the concerns that parents do have. So please keep that in mind. Something I want to say on a personal level is that we are not redistricting because we live on Venice Island. So our two younger sons left at home will both continue to be in and attend Venice High School. However, that doesn't mean that they're not sensing some of that same loss that some kids who are redistricting are sensing. Our youngest son will be in 8th grade this fall. So when he starts his freshman year, he knows already that only 3 of his good friends are going to be staying at Venice High School. The rest will be going to Wellen Park High School based on where they live. So we understand what you're going through, and we are parents in the district, so we get it. So this is where we want to offer what we can do to help. First, we don't want you to panic. You still have time. From our last video to this video, the one thing that changed is that the maps are very, very similar, as you saw earlier. When we initially did the videos, we had A, B, and C, and there was a lot of differences. And so there were full areas and neighborhoods that weren't yet sure where they were going to be. So now the nice thing is most people know already what school district they're going to be in. So now it's time to even step up your thought process and look through this. Decide, do you want to move? Do you want to stay? What does that look like? Where are your options? And that's where we can help. We can help you see what neighborhoods are out there, see what is similar to what you have now in terms of maybe in the country, maybe not in the country. Maybe you have certain amenities that you want to keep. Maybe you need to be a certain location based on your job. We know these neighborhoods and where is what, and we are happy to help you with that. We also understand that maybe there's reasons that you want to stay and not move. Maybe you have a great interest rate. I've been there, done that, where it's like, I don't want to move. I have a good rate because rates are higher now. Maybe it's because you just really like something about where you are, the layout of your house, the location to whatever. We can talk you through all of that to help you see what's best. And we can also offer our insight as parents who have moved with older kids and who also have a background in education. I taught 20 something years ago for 5 years. My husband taught for 18 years. So we bring in the parent, the educational perspective, but also the perspective of experienced real estate agents. So we can help you see different neighborhoods, figure out if this is right for you, and sit down and really talk through that and be a part of the process. And then you can decide what's best for you. Now, what are your next steps? The first thing you need to do is look at the map and see where you are. Are you in a location that definitely is going to be redistricted, definitely is not going to be, or possibly could be? And then you need to think through the options. Yes, school choice is there, but please keep in mind, especially if you are going to have a senior who has siblings, those siblings in high school are going to get first choice, because they want to try to keep families together so you don't have one parent cheering one kid on at Wellen Park and the next one cheering another kid on at Northport. So that is very important. So it is going to potentially limit spots that are open for school choice. This is going to be voted on in early September. So if you are in an area that's questionable, by September, you're going to know. If you know that you're in a redistricted area to Wellen Park and you're not sure that's the best option for you, or you're in an area that's a question mark, now is the time to definitely contact us. We'll help you through the process to see what areas you might like, take you to see places, talk you through what it could look like in terms of what you could get at your new house versus what you have now. All of those steps that can help you feel more confident in the decision and just give you somebody else to bounce ideas off of who has kids in this position and is local in the area. One thing I want you to remember is that if you know that you do not want your child to attend Wellen Park, not because there's anything wrong with the school, but because you want them to stay in Venice with siblings or to finish, or you want them to stay in Northport, keep in mind, if you wait to see what happens with school choice, you are really limiting the time that you have to find something else. And it kind of puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage because now you are not able to think through it as much, and you might have to just take what's there, so to speak. The best thing I can do is give you an example. A few years ago, I had a client who was trying to buy a house in a specific district. So what happened is that she was looking, and then decided to stay put, and then found out through the school choice option that one of her children was accepted and the other one was not, due to full class size, and then full on panic stuck. So what happened in her case is she settled for a house that I thought was super nice. It wasn't quite what she was looking for. She's never loved it. She's stayed there since then. That's been several years ago, but she had to go there because she waited so long to see what happened. The best thing you can do is start thinking and looking now and have a backup plan, or kind of know what that's going to be so you're happy with your decision. And that's where, again, we're happy to sit down, walk through that with you, give you some options, and maybe help you think through it in ways that you had not, because I've done this for 20 years. I hope this helped. That's our ultimate goal, to help all of you. Our information is in the description below. It has emails and cell phone numbers. Please feel free to contact us in any way that's convenient for you. We're happy to walk you through the process, answer your questions, and help out however we can. And that way you can know whatever decision you decide is best for your family and you're happy with it. And I hope you have a great week.